Mr. Clerk, what is the next item? We have another important proclamation.
Yes, item C is Armenian Genocide Commemoration Proclamation.
Thank you. And if I can ask the representatives of the Armenian National Committee, Armenian Council of America, and the Armenian Rights Council of America to approach the podium to receive these commendations. So as I think everyone who lives in Glendale is now aware, since so much progress has been made to educate our friends and neighbors about this important historical event, one of the darkest chapters in human history, the Armenian Genocide, we have made significant progress in not only raising awareness, but having events that commemorate this tragedy. Including on April 24th, the City of Glendale's annual Genocide Anniversary Commemoration event will return to the Alex Theater at 7 p.m. In cooperation with Lark Music Society. But this event and all of the work around educating the community cannot be done without the work of your organizations. Each of your organizations has its roots in some of the oldest Armenian community organizations, political organizations, with roots going all the way back to Western Armenia, and we appreciate the continued work that you are doing 100 years later. So allow me to read this proclamation, and then I will give an opportunity for each of you to say a few words on behalf of the organization that you represent. So the proclamation reads as follows. Whereas April is observed as Genocide Awareness Month because it is associated with many significant dates related to genocide, including the Armenian Genocide, which began on April 24th, 1915. The Holocaust, the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, began on April 19, 1943. The Cambodian Genocide, which began on April 19, 1975, and the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda, which began on April 7, 1994. And whereas in the observation and acknowledgement of Genocide Awareness Month, we must also pause to think of those who are currently under attack and those being persecuted for their identity. And whereas the City of Glendale believes that cultural diversity is achieved when our entire community acknowledges that its wholeness is based on the unique strengths of each of its community members, and that we can no longer innocently harbor feelings of superiority and separatism in our society. And whereas Glendale is home to one of the largest Armenian American populations per capita in the diaspora, and Armenians living in Glendale have enriched our city through their leadership and in contribution in business, academia, government, and the arts, many of whom have family members who were affected by the horror and evil of the Armenian Genocide and its ongoing denial. And whereas every person should be made aware and educated about the Armenian Genocide and other genocides and crimes against humanity. And whereas we appreciate the efforts of the community volunteers in organizing the City of Glendale's annual Armenian Genocide commemorative event, and whereas we encourage the community to support and actively participate in the annual events of the commemoration and remembrance, and to increase their efforts to educate our community not only about the Armenian Genocide, but all acts of violence and inhumanity. And whereas April 24th, 1915 is globally observed and recognized as the commencement of the Armenian Genocide. And now, therefore, I, Ardashes Ardi Kasakyan, Mayor of the City of Glendale and great-grandson of genocide survivors, proclaim the month of April 2022 as Genocide Awareness Month, and April 24th, 2022 as a day of commemoration of the 107th anniversary of the Armenian Genocide, and invite all members of the community to participate in activities and events in recognition of the genocide. Signed on this date by myself, the mayor, and we have 3 copies of this proclamation, one for each of your organizations. But I'll allow you to say a few words, and then I'll ask my colleagues to come down and present these.
Mayor Kasakyan, council members.
Will you also state your name? I know we have with us Lucy Petrosian, we have Krikor Maloyan, David Samuelian, and Hrant Vartsbedian.
Mayor Kasakyan, council members, and city staff. My name is Lucy Petrosian, and I'm the chairperson of the ANC of Glendale. And I'd like to thank you for the Armenian Genocide Commemoration Proclamation. As the leaders of one of the most Armenian populated cities in the United States, it is important to acknowledge the atrocities that affected so many of Glendale's residents and their families. Thank you for standing up for human rights, justice, and the truth. Thank you again.
My name is Krikor Maloyan. I'm a board member of the Armenian Council of America Glendale chapter. And on behalf of the Armenian Council, I'd like to give my thanks to the city of Glendale for always taking a firm stand and upholding truth and human rights and justice, in particular when it comes to issues of the Armenian genocide and the Armenian people. I'd like to bring attention to the numerous ethnic minorities across the globe who are being persecuted and ethnically cleansed, and every single genocide which is denied or gone unrecognized continues to perpetuate the same cycle of genocide and afford other regimes to continue that persecution. In particular, I'd like to point out the ethnic Armenians living in the Republic of Artsakh today are being ethnically cleansed and persecuted by the Azerbaijani regime. And had we perhaps, as an American community as a whole, recognized the Armenian genocide decades ago and continued to seek that level of truth and justice, perhaps the continued ethnic cleansing of Armenians may have been stemmed at the root. But hopefully we may see that day come yet again. Nevertheless, thank you so much to the city of Glendale. We really appreciate your support. Thank you.
Hi, my name is David Samuelian, and I represent ADLP, Armenian Democratic Liberal Party, Ramgavar. And we also represent the Armenian Right Council of Los Angeles, United States. I'm very thankful for this proclamation. We are so moved by this proclamation. Other than that, we have to congratulate our dear mayor, Mr. Kasakian, and councilmen and your dear colleagues. Thank you for all this that you guys been offering for the Armenian genocide. And other than that, this year, it's going to be celebration of the 100th anniversary of the Ramgavar Party, the ADLP, and plus the weekly paper Nor-Or, which is New Day. It was founded in Fresno 100 years ago. May 22nd, we're celebrating the 100th anniversary of our organization. And on October 5th, we're celebrating the weekly Nor-Or's 100th anniversary. Other than that, I represent the UACLA.com, chairman of the Armenian Genocide group, that we have 40 organizations that participate. UACLA, you guys go with your website, UACLA.com, and you find all our history. And I've been the chairman for the last 12 years. And we're doing our commemorations for the last 12 years at Montebello's, that beautiful 57-year-old monument. So I'm really thankful, and we are really continuing for our genocide purposes that have been done. And we are really working hard for that. And we are very thankful for Glendale City that is really adopting this genocide issue. We are so thank you very, very much. God bless you, and we'll be continuing following the genocide. Thank you.
Thank you, and don't go far because Council Members Agajanian, Devine, and Brotman will come down to present each of you with a copy of the proclamation. Would any of you like to say a few words before you present it?
I would. Probably you all know that I am of Ukrainian descent, and I feel that there is a genocide going on right before our very eyes. And so I have always supported the Armenian community, and I will support you. Accountability is very important, and I think that's what we need to strive for, is accountability. And again, we shall never forget. We shall never forget. 1,000 years from now, we shall never forget.
Yeah, I'll just add that it is tragic, what's going on in the Ukraine, and it's gotten a lot of attention, but there are many ongoing situations of genocide and crimes against humanity that don't get this level of attention, including, of course, what's happening today still in Artsakh, what's happening in Western China with the Uyghurs, what's happening in Myanmar with the Rohingya, and it's just a tragedy of human history that this seems to just continue. And I guess what we can do is call it out as loudly as possible and continue to condemn these acts and hold the perpetrators accountable, even if they're long gone in the distance of history. But we still need to hold them accountable again and again.
Thank you. If we want to talk about Armenian genocide, we can talk forever. But however, I just want to mention one sentence that dictator Adolf Hitler, at the conclusion of the Obersalzberg speech in 1939, before anything was arranged for Holocaust, he said to his generals, "Who, after all, speaks today of the annihilation of the Armenians?" And that says it all in 1939, but apparently, probably nobody knew what he's talking about, that he's organizing the Holocaust. So I'm sorry to say that 1.5 million Armenians, they have been killed for no reason. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Najarian, I know that you're with us remotely. Is there anything that you would like to add?
No, I'd like to go off Councilmember Agajanian's remarks, and who, after all, today speaks of the genocide of the Artsakh Armenians only 2 years ago. No one was speaking about it, and again, history repeats itself in the most vile of ways. Thank you to the members of the organizations for being present and everyone in the community who's commemorating this tragic event in our history.
Surely, thank you very much, and thank you to you all for continuing the fight for justice and justice deferred. I'll now allow my colleagues to join you down there, and I'll come down quickly as well for anyone who wishes to take a few photos for posterity.